Yeah, guess what? It turns out quite a few people didn't agree with my opinion on the How I Met Your Mother finale. So hopefully I can redeem myself by giving a bad review of a bad finale. Or knowing my luck, you'll probably just cause me to get even more flames by people who liked it. I said years ago that Unhappily Ever After might have killed the dysfunctional family sitcom, but it definitely wasn't a quick death. There were still a few shows that stuck around with this theme and managed to last for a while. Among those was Malcolm in the Middle, which starred Frankie Muniz as a child prodigy having to deal with his family that would make Al and Peg Bundy say they needed extreme therapy. It wasn't a show I regularly watched, but I did see some episodes here and there during its 7-year run, including the season finale in 2007. And good night was that one big mistake. This episode just missed the cut on my list of worst finales, and to this day, I wonder if I made the right choice picking Seinfeld over that. Why? Let's find out as we look at the Malcolm in the Middle series finale, Graduation. The episode begins with the father Hal in a tired old dopey dad cliche.
Oh, for God's sake, Hal! Pay the money and get a repairman.
I am not wasting good money when I am perfectly capable.
Nothing I can say here that Mr. Enter didn't already rant on with Glenn Martin DDS. Also, don't screwdrivers have insulated handles for the purpose of helping prevent shocks like that? Yeah, not only is this a tired bit, but it wouldn't happen in the real world. After the title sequence, we move to the family looking over scholarships on how to pay for Harvard, which Malcolm got accepted into.
But we've got to find a way. It's my dream school.
Dude, you really want to go to an elitist Ivy League school? I mean, Stanford's got better sports teams to cheer for, better looking women.
It's 2,000 miles away from Mom.
Okay, that logic I can't argue with.
What other jobs can you get?
I've already got 3 shifts in the cafeteria, Monday and Wednesday at the bookstore, and mopping the dorms at night. I don't know, I guess I could chop vegetables during chem lab.
Yeah, who needs sleep or sanity?
Roomie.
Stop calling me that. I'm not your roommate for another 2 weeks.
12 days! The second you graduate, you are out of this house and into his!
This is as good a time as any to talk about it. I do have a private life. I'll keep it confined to my own room, but you should probably know my safe word.
The worst part is a masturbation joke wouldn't even crack the top 50 on sophomoric humor for this show. We then cut to the 3 kids talking about how they won't be together much longer due to both Malcolm and his brother Reese graduating. Oh, and Stevie is also there, with his dad.
Seems like only yesterday you and I were going to homecoming, putting the school paper to bed, fretting over our first big date with Sharon Hines.
He's already got a boarding house rented right next door to the college Stevie's going to, doesn't he?
We can get rid of the nuclear option.
Oh my God.
You're right.
This is what made sure, no matter how bad we screwed each other over, there was always a limit. None of us could push anyone to a point where they had nothing to lose, or they just pull the trigger and destroy all of us.
I'm gonna lose what's left of my innocence by seeing this, aren't I?
One time we made Mom think she had cancer.
I know I should be outraged by that, but with what I know that's coming up, I just can't.
With this fire, a terrible secret that bound us together is gone forever. Jamie will grow up in a world without the fear that haunted every second of our lives. He'll learn to give birthday presents out of love, not blackmail, and to share out of the generosity of his heart, not the dread in the pit of his stomach.
Spoiler alert, Dewey didn't really burn the X-ray, and no, that plot point doesn't go anywhere.
I know how much you hate me, but no kidding, I'm at rock bottom. I've got no money, no prospects, and nowhere else to turn. Well, can I speak to a senior loan officer?
I get the feeling bumbling sitcom dads are as annoying to loan sharks as college kids at 11 p.m. are to pizza parlors.
You know, if you want me to take a look at your valedictory speech, I'd be happy to.
Mom, stop it. I don't want anyone to see it until it's ready.
Okay. But why are you quoting a rap group when there are people like Paul McCartney out there who are just as relevant and don't go around showing off the tops of their underpants?
No, I'm not gonna respond to that. I'm saving it. Trust me, it gets worse. At the same time, Reese is all fired up at his new job as an assistant school janitor. I mean, really fired up.
This job is better than I could ever imagine. A cool uniform, the power to cordon off wet floors. You're not just some creepy loner hanging around the school. You're the janitor.
Aim high, bro. But his boss has to tip him off to the fact that all assistants are fired after 30 days to keep them from getting union benefits.
There's gotta be some way. I mean, what if there's a mess? A mess that was so big and sticky and disgusting that it was impossible to clean up in less than 30 days.
It's a beautiful thought, kid. But there's no such thing as a 30-day mess.
I want to go back to one of Barney Stinson's challenges. As the eldest son, Francis, arrives with Lois's mother, who is your stereotypical annoying hag, yet someone told me How I Met Your Mother was formulaic, Malcolm discovers one of his grants has been canceled.
They're using the money to do a study on what happens to kids who can't afford college. They're offering me $50 to be a part of it.
Sounds like the last GOP education bill.
It's beautiful, Grandma. I just cracked a little quarter-inch and it burned off all the hair in my nose.
Good. Who takes the fall?
Huh?
Your Patsy. Who is your Patsy? Ah, it's a good thing you called me. You're gonna make this big mess. They're gonna blame someone. And you can make it anyone you want.
When she's become the most entertaining character in this episode so far, that shows you what kind of situation we're in.
There's no way I can get the money to pay you, but instead of making you go through that whole stupid charade where you keep calling me and I keep making lame excuses until you hunt me down, I am willing to go straight to the leg breaking. Invite anyone you want. I promise I will scream and cry and beg for mercy and make it so loud and so horrible that no one who sees it will ever miss another payment again.
Couldn't I just not give you the money and still break your arms and legs? Wouldn't that accomplish the same thing?
No, because not giving him the money will then make your organization look dishonest. You may be a vicious, predatory gangster lender, but you still gotta have integrity. At this point, everyone is getting ready for the graduation ceremony, and Francis and Lois start getting into another argument about him refusing to get a job. And yeah, this plot point is actually important.
I got a lot of irons in the fire right now. I got 3 different ideas for children's books, and I'm considering applying for a bounty hunter's license.
Or he could just wait another 2 years and get on the internet reviewer bandwagon.
So, right when we walk in, I fake a seizure. When I fall, I make sure my skirt comes up over my hips. I'm going commando, so you'll have plenty of time to sneak this out of the car.
Why the hell was this character only in 12 episodes? And after all that, it's at this point that the story finds the scum under the 50 feet of crap under the rock bottom and digs even deeper. The family meets with Stevie's father and his brother, I think, who now runs his own major computer industry, and he has the ultimate offer for Malcolm.
Well, good enough for a 2-year contract anyway. Full benefits, stock options. We're talking 6 figures each.
Well,
That's a very generous offer, Mr. Hampton, but no.
Mom, what do you...
Malcolm's going to college. He's going to finish his education, but thank you very much.
He wasn't asking you. He was...
Ma'am, I completely understand. I should have talked to you first. Consider the offer withdrawn. Sorry, kid. 24/7 job. You need your whole family behind you. And don't be mad at your mom. She's only trying to look out for you. Who knows how far I would have gone if I went to college.
No. It gets worse.
All right, Malcolm, I know you're angry. You might as well say what you have to now and get it out of your system.
Now my life looks exactly how I feel.
I don't think I've seen a better metaphor for an episode in all my life.
How could you screw me over like that?
Because you were going to take that job, and we are not going to let you throw your life away.
How is being rich throwing my life away?
Because it's not the life you're supposed to have. The life you're supposed to have is you go to Harvard, and you earn every fellowship and internship they have. You graduate first in your class, and you start working in public service, either district attorney or running some foundation, and then you become governor of a mid-sized state, and then you become president.
What if I don't want to be president?
It's too late for that. You're going to do it. You'll be the only person in that position who will ever give a crap about people like us.
Did it ever occur to you that I could have taken this job, gotten really rich, and then bought my way into being president?
Then you wouldn't be a good president. You wouldn't have suffered enough.
I've been suffering all my life.
I'm sorry. It's not enough. Now you're going to learn what it's like to sweep floors and bust your ass and accomplish twice as much as all the kids around you. And it won't mean anything because they will still look down on you. And you will want so much for them to like you, and they just won't. And it'll break your heart. And that'll make your heart bigger and open your eyes, and finally you will realize that there's more to life than proving you're the smartest person in the world. I'm sorry, Malcolm, but you don't get the easy path.
Lois, I have seen Lucy Van Pelt. I have seen Gary the Rat. I have seen Alan Gregory. I have seen the entire cast of Brickleberry. And after that little speech of yours, the only thing I can think of right now is that every single one of those characters is an absolute saint compared to you, you conniving, selfish, backstabbing, manipulative, pure evil mother!
Dear Lord, that's the loudest profanity I've ever heard.
Are you absolutely kidding me? I have heard the joke in other sitcoms that parents really don't want to see their kids have it better than them, but this is just beyond all comprehension! What this basically means is that Lois has set up Malcolm from pretty much the beginning of this series, ever since she was told by that guidance counselor that he was a prodigy, to be purposely miserable. She has intentionally set up his life to be as horrible as possible because she thinks it will somehow make him a better man. I could post every clip possible of Dr. Cox, Grumpy Cat, and every internet critic out there, and that still wouldn't be enough no's to show off how pissed off this makes me! And yes, I'm throwing her and her alone under this bus because, yeah, Hal knew about the plan, but he's so much of a spineless coward that you know he had no input or any chance of actually stopping it. This would be like if LeBron James's parents told him that not only could he not go to the NBA right out of high school, but he couldn't play professional basketball at all because they had so-called better plans for him and felt that he needs to suffer! What the hell type of sanctimonious garbage is that? If this was about him having some pipe dream about becoming the next Steve Jobs and you trying to show reason about how unlikely the odds are of that happening, that's one thing. But he got that opportunity, and when you get such an opportunity, you take it. But instead, you squashed it right in front of him because you somehow think that even after him becoming an adult and graduating school, you still get to control his life. Did you ever stop to think that maybe Malcolm getting that job could be the path toward you getting out of your own crappy lifestyle? That maybe if you were more supportive, he might have had an extra room for you in his Greenwich mansion? Malcolm should have been an example to you that you can overcome this system that you claim has screwed you people over if you do your hardest to maximize your talents. But you don't want to see that happen because it would leave you with no one to blame for your own life but yourself. No, I don't buy for a second that you're doing what's best for him. This is about you hating your life and thinking that if you're not happy, no one around around you gets to be happy. This may now be the most morally deficient character I have ever seen. Sarah Palin has no brains, Pat Robertson has no soul, Kim Jong-un has no dick, and Malcolm's mother has no heart, brains, or human decency. I have seen supervillains that have more moral statute than you. I better get something halfway decent to see in the next 30 seconds, or it's gonna take Jeannie a freaking week to put this house back together.
Ameris Industries? What's that?
Shh. It's my employee badge. Please don't tell Mom. It'd make her too happy. She'd never let me live it down.
Yes, it turns out Francis has actually had a full-time cubicle job for 2 months that he has grown to love. And he has deliberately been making that witch believe he's still a slacker just to drive her crazy. I salute you, you devious, magnificent, glorious bastard. And then it's finally time for Malcolm's graduation speech, where he finally gets the chance to tell off his mother.
Our families are coming with us. They'll be with us forever. In our habits, our gestures, and in the choices we make. So we'll never be set free. But we'll never be alone. As Paul McCartney once said,
You poor delusional bastard. There's no hope for you. And then we fast forward 3 months where Dewey and his one remaining brother are still causing trouble. Reese still got the janitor job after his boss got fired for being a peeping Tom, and he may or may not be in a relationship with his roommate, I'm not sure. Francis is still keeping up his charade, bless him. And the parents at least get one big-ass biatch slap of karma by discovering Lois is pregnant again. Hal had to start dealing meth to pay for his vasectomy. And Malcolm is likely on his way to losing his mind, splitting Harvard classes and janitor jobs to eventually graduate to a world with no job and a lifetime of crippling student debt. Or he wised up, dropped out of Harvard after a year, begged for that computer job back, and proceeded to help that company crush Bill Gates while having Lois put in a nursing home and winning custody of his brothers. That's the ending I'm sticking with, because otherwise this finale can rot in hell! Holy crap, was this a stinker! I get that this is a dark comedy, but this ending was just too mean-spirited and not in a funny way at all. It is beyond sad when Unhappily Ever After's finale had a similar story and did it better. Because at least there, Jack, who knew his failings were due to his own laziness and lack of motivation, stood up and took responsibility to ensure Tiffany got the happy ending she wanted and deserved before he regressed back to being a drunk basement dweller playing with his bunny. At least he was willing to pretty much say, it's too late for me, but I can make sure my daughter, who's a better person than me, won't have to go through what I did. For the writers to think that we would actually like seeing the title character get so royally screwed over in the end by his own family and learn to just accept it, this goes beyond the theme song's tagline of life is unfair. Maybe I should have put this episode on my worst finales list after all, but at the very least, it allowed me to rant on this thing in full, which is probably what it deserved. How ironic that this show was called Malcolm in the Middle, because I can't help but think of that Beatles song with the characters. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, I'm stuck in the middle. See you next time on TV Trash.